For this video, I'm going to show you how to get the oscilloscope waveform for any sound file you have on a laptop computer. You could get just the oscilloscope waveform, but that's not really very useful, so I'm going to show you how to both get the sound and the oscilloscope waveform at the same time. That's much more useful. Here's a nice pair of amplified speakers. Or you could use a nice little amplified speaker like this. It's all in one enclosure. The most common connector you're likely to see coming from an amplified speaker is like this stereo mini plug. It's got 3 conductors. For the connection to the oscilloscope, you need either an adapter cable like this that has B and C on one end, and it's a female phono jack on the other end. That's one single cable. And we connect the B and C connector directly to the oscilloscope. But this kind of connector is much more easy to use than the cable adapter that I just showed you. It has both the B and C male that you need for the oscilloscope, but it goes directly to the phono jack, so it's all in one piece and not having cable in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this connector to the oscilloscope. Okay, I went ahead and put that connector directly to the front of the oscilloscope, which makes it much handier. Now I'm going to show you the connectors you need to make all the connections. You need 2 stereo splitter cables with a stereo mini plug on one end and the 2 RCA phono plugs on the other end. This stereo mini plug end of the splitter cable goes to the headphone out jack on your laptop computer, and then the splitter splits into 2 RCA phono plugs, and one of the plugs you put into a female coupler, and then the other end of the well, this is the other splitter. This is the other splitter. There's the stereo mini plug, and this is one end of the phono plug on the second splitter. So you plug that into the coupler. You see, you have the female jack from the first splitter. It goes to a coupler, and the coupler goes to one of the phono plugs on the second splitter. The second phono plug on the first splitter goes into the phono jack adapter on the oscilloscope. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect the phono plug from the first cable, the yellow phono plug from the first splitter, into the coupler, and then from the coupler I go to one of the phono plugs on the other splitter. So now that connection is made. That red phono plug is coming out of the second splitter. There's the stereo mini plug end of the second splitter cable. The stereo mini plug end of the second cable is going to go into this coupler, and then the other end of the coupler, on the other end of the coupler, you're going to take the stereo mini plug from the amplified speaker and put the stereo plug from the mini stereo plug from the amplified speaker into the other end of the coupler. Okay, I snapped all the things together. I snapped all the connectors together, and now we have the stereo mini plug from the second splitter cable going into the coupler, and then the coupler is going into the stereo mini plug from the amplified speaker. This is a single amplified speaker. Okay, now the amplified speaker is connected into this chain. You have a coupler, and then it goes to one of the splitter cables, and that splitter cable goes to another phono jack or phono plug, to a coupler, and then to the first splitter cable, which goes back to a stereo mini plug, and that stereo mini plug goes into the headphone jack on your laptop computer. That's the first stereo mini plug from the first splitter cable that goes to the laptop computer. And there's the connections. And that red phono jack goes to the second splitter, which goes to the coupler and back to the amplified speaker. Okay, so here's one laptop computer, and the headphone jack is at the very end on the side of the front. Here's the stereo mini plug from the first splitter cable, and you just stick that into the laptop computer. Okay, I'm sticking it into the laptop computer, the stereo mini plug from the first splitter cable. There's the laptop, so it's connected to the first splitter cable, and all the connections are made. And that goes to the amplified speaker. And the oscilloscope is also connected. So all the oscilloscope and the amplified speakers are connected. And all you have to do is play any sound file, find any sound file on your computer, play it, and then before you start playing it, you can, like if you want to use a video camera, start your video camera recording so that you can capture both the sound and the oscilloscope waveform at the same time. And that concludes this lesson.